Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fableheim and the Legend of Keepers. Today, we begin the end of Cyril the Enchantress's base campaign. The fifth and final banner is here, and today, we get to do something I have longed to do since I began playing. This is the closest thing, for now, that we're going to get to necromancy. Of course, that's how the story goes, with the lady telling us that we're going to raise some skeletons. So we start with quite the army, I guess. Called Poison Icy. I do appreciate the pun. But we're going to have to see how we put this together. I have a few ideas, though. We'll see. We'll see what we can make work. As always, we're going to be going in with high gold gains and low master life, because I've never learned my lesson, and I love money.
Following the path of destiny.
As always, our promotional spells are here. It would be nice if she could apply Frostbite, but I don't think that is possible. It'd also be really cool if we could apply Nature Weakness, but I also don't think that is possible. Blazing Snowflakes could be really good. Or really bad. You know. In fact, that's actually a pretty good... I like that one. This Incandescent Fireflies could also be sick. We actually got one good use off of this the entire time we've been playing Cyril. Just one. Alright, let's try this one. This gives an Elemental Flaw, Gaia's Vengeance, and Blazing Snowflakes. Basically, it's a bunch of damage. And what more could you ask for? As always, I'm going to name our team, and I will get right back to you. I actually had names prepared for everyone on this team. I'm impressed with myself, really. In the first room, these rooms are probably going to move around a bit. We have 2 skeleton archers, which is unusual. I don't think they usually give you duplicates of the starting army, but we have Pestilence and Virulence. The names have just kind of stuck now. We are also rejoined by the Earth Elemental, Fjord, and the Trent Douglas, of course, coming from our talent tree. Douglas might not see any action, but he also might. Who knows? In the second room, we have our heavy hitters and one trash unit, Skeletor. Now, Skeletor is a skeleton warrior. We don't see this unit very often because usually this unit comes from resurrection of fallen monsters. He can't come back to life because he is the unit that comes back to life from other stuff. I don't think he's very good. But hey, we can try and YOLO some stuns. That'll be funny, right? We have Kel'Thuzad, who is probably going to be quite substantial in our carrying early game. And of course, the legendary Ice Cube, who, if we can find ways to apply Frostbite, will be absolutely, positively disgusting. But speaking of Frostbite, I think one of our traps can. Our traps are the Poison Cloud, deals 10 nature damage to an area and applies poison. We have a lot of nature damage. And the Icy Breeze. Ooh, not Frostbite. Applies 20 ice damage and Ice Weakness 4. I see. That could empower Kel'Thuzad and Ice Cube, but Ice Cube's main component is hitting the front target, consuming the Frostbite stacks, and dealing an obscene amount of damage. Our talents, which I forgot to show, also play into this a little bit. But I kind of noticed that the game is trying to push you in one direction, as it usually does. Our starting artifact is the Golden Leaf. Monsters gain 3 random bonuses once transformed into a tree. I have never used the ability that transforms people. I've heard it could be pretty good. It is also an exceptional way to prevent motivation loss, because if they live one turn, they will then transform into a Trent. And when the Trent dies, that doesn't count against the motivation bar of the unit that was transformed. So there's some shenanigans that can be done, and I do enjoy shenanigans. Now for our starting week, I think we're going to go ahead and hit the Merchant, see if we can get our very cheeky strat rolling. Oh no. The Spiky Boy. The return of the Spiky Boy. Resist. The Spiky Boys have been venerated. We need Frostbite. You can do it. Now, the Skeleton Soldier is actually something we could think about. We do not have a whole lot of armor. And this does play into one particular strat we might be able to do. Alright, so we'll pick up on Hoplite, who of course is going to be named Unhoplite. He's not a Skeleton Soldier, he's an Unhoplite. I would love to train here, and I think I'm going to. I'm not sure who we can upgrade. Oof. With our meager funds, we can only upgrade Skeletor or Douglas. It's worth noting, oh dear, that upgrading Skeletor does give him a bunch of useful stuff. I mean, look at those numbers. They're all green, basically. Oh dear, am I really going to do this? Am I really about to do this? I kind of feel like leveling up Douglas would be more useful, but... It's only 125 gold. You can do it. I believe. Out of curiosity, does Skeletor ever get better at stunning things? So he's going to level 3. Level 4. 110 hit points and a lot of resistances. Look at that. He's actually a pretty tanky boy. Fortunately, he does not get better at stunning stuff. I'm gonna do it mostly for the memes. Mostly. Now, Skeletor, for those who don't know, of course, a reference to, is it He-Man, the antagonist there? But Skeletor was also in our Erratus playthrough, the master of mediocrity. The feller of titans. So I'm gonna see if we can do something with it. Maybe we can, maybe we can't, who knows. It is high time to go to the stockroom. During the cleaning, one of your employees found this strange object. Would you like to take it, auction it, or gift it to the employees? Monsters placed at the front gain 40 speed. This could be good. It basically makes sure that whoever is in the front goes mostly first. I think we're going to take it. Or Virulence could be level 3. Now, I actually leveled up a Skeleton Archer level 4 recently, thinking that they got 2 stacks of dodge when they were in the back. And they just don't. So we'll take it for ourselves. We'll see if we can make use of that. The Workers' Union has made a request. An anonymous suggestion box for the employees. Even if they cannot write, the simple gesture shall boost morale. They do not need to know that the suggestion box will empty straight into the trash. We have no need of it, so let's save our 50 gold. And it is time to march forth. There is a particular artifact that I am very eager to obtain. Whew. But I think we're just going to have to brute force our way through this. So in order to do that, you want to have something resembling a balanced room, which currently we do not. We have no way of actually inflicting frostbite except YOLOing Kel'Thuzad. So, let's put Ice Cube up front. We'll see if we can actually do something. We have 1 archer in each area. So let's bring Fjord to the back, I guess. I don't know. We have options. Options are always good. Our trap layout actually wasn't too terrible. I am, however, a little concerned. The ice resistance is negative with the Dragonite, so actually we can cleave here, which I think is the play. We are fighting a Dragonite, who is of course pretty terrifying, attacking the center unit with physical attack, which is why Hoplite is standing here. The kind of scary part of this is both the the Ninja, who I greatly dislike, and the Shamananananin, the shitty Shamananananin, are attacking in an AoE. The shitty Shaman doing fire, the Ninja doing nature. It's a little concerning that they're just gonna cleave down my entire team. Also, the Skeleton Archers are not particularly great here, but I guess they eat an attack more than once. Maybe. Unfortunately, Ice Cube is just going to be doing raw damage. We can't actually make use of his mechanic very much. And he's also going to get dotted down to death. But, you know. I'm hoping we can pull off something here? Maybe just with enough poison, they'll slowly decay and wither. But the poison resistance is actually pretty good on the 2 backliners, so... Oh dear. Oh dearie me. I was kind of expecting... Alright, you heal. I was kind of expecting to fight nature-resistant stuff. But I'm still kind of surprised to see it, you know? We don't want to Enchanting Seeds here. We'll apply the Elemental Weakness and see if we can go from there. We also have this as our first trap. Applying Ice Weakness, which could be very useful. Minus 95, because Kel'Thuzad is, of course, up front. And being poisoned. We have a lot of YOLO going on here. Okay. One place in the front, of course, Kel'Thuzad cleaves to everyone, which is very nice. Very nice indeed. I guess we're just going to have... Which one are you? Virulence. Attack the back. It looks like our skeleton warrior is indeed not long for this world. Yep. I thought I could meme on him, you know. Kel'Thuzad does get a second turn, which is very good for me. Very good indeed. I wonder if Cyril has an AoE. I don't actually know. Kel'Thuzad probably only got a second turn because of the artifact we got. And now the team falls. Good news, though. This resting place here is a morale restoration. So it's not really applicable to our current plan. You can do morale Cyril, but I really haven't. Alright.
So young and already a foot in the grave.
So young. To have just died. Oof. I guess the good news here is that... Oof. The good news here is that the two characters that deal AoE damage aren't particularly great against Cyril. The bad news is that this guy is going to... Okay. Never mind. Never mind. She is still slowly dying. A very swift and painful death. I think that'll kill the shadow? Yeah, that should. Pop. Alright. This was a little sketch, but we got it done. A rough start, but maybe we'll get something here to help us out. Such as that. I didn't even see the other options. I think Anakin was there, but... Alright. It's time. I mean, I guess Niflheim makes more sense than this. Okay. Alright. Damage is here. How do we want to do this? I see the lines. Kel'Thuzad is going to room 1. Niflheim and Ice Cube are going to room 2 to carry. We have both archers in different rooms. Skeletor is here. I honestly think... we're probably going to want on Hoplite in room 2 because Kel'Thuzad's going to want to be up front. With 335 gold, we could YOLO the merchant a bit more. We are quite weak, but we could also engineer. And if we can get this trap to apply this much ice weakness, it could be really good. Our timing, the layout of the dungeon would be more impactful, however. Positive or negatively, mind you. We could also try and hunt for the polar portal to lean even further into this. What was my other trap? Oh, right, the toad. I think we have our plan, and now we just need to lean into it. So go ahead and upgrade the ice thing. I could have saved money for the course, but... You placed a bet on a ball racing game during lunch break. The one you chose finished first, and you won the jackpot. You could also use your winning to throw a party for your employees. Now this +1 would actually help quite a bit, but money. Because there's a trainer here. Yep, I counted that. So... I think I have enough. We want to upgrade Ice Cube and we want to upgrade Niflheim. These two are imperative to our plan. That's it. In case you haven't seen what I'm doing yet, or before, we began the game with Ice Cube, who deals damage to the front, and will consume Frostbite stacks to deal bonus damage. And Niflheim is going to be dealing Frostbite damage, or ice damage and applying Frostbite to the front. So every turn, ideally, something just gets yeeted and deleted. The more ways we can find to apply Frostbite, the stronger this combo becomes. An archaeologist is ringing your doorbell to claim an artifact, blaming you for looting it. He even dares to demand you donate it to a museum. Let's crush him. Give me that free blood. I am going to go for this artifact, although I am concerned. I have 203 hit points. They do get a healing well, but I think our plan, our scheme is in motion. And hopefully, just hopefully, that'll be enough. The dungeon layout was not in our favor, by the way. Double dungeon before the second, double trap before the second monster room is really not good for our strategy. I think we can still make use of it. Maybe. Now, because they are going to get a healing fountain, I guess I'm going to rip the damage. But they're so far away from our monsters that I didn't think the debuff would remain. So I just did as much damage to the Concertus as possible. Who, of course, is the nuisance that we're fighting today. He'll be applying dodge to the lowest person, which I made sure was him. Because we've got some work to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're also fighting Elias the Enchanter, who's going to move things exactly how I want them. Perfecto. Now, I sat down and thought about this for a while, because both Pestilence and Kel'Thuzad gain benefits from their position. However, Pestilence gained dodge by being placed at the back at the start of combat, so you saw he ate that physical attack from the Concertist. Kel'Thuzad gains his bonuses from being in the position. So I tried to get him to be shifted to the front, which we did, which is perfect. I'm kind of resilient here, aren't they? Oof. Oh, dear. They are so resilient. Like, I don't even think it's even worth doing the AoE. Just start attacking the Concertist. The Elias moved him around. We talked about that. He's going to deal AoE nature damage and apply elemental weakness. Thankfully, we are actually useful with this character. And we're going to YOLO the 20% right here. Alright. I tried. My concern with this run is, this combat is the exact same as it was previously. There is a lot of AoE happening, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to cleave down the entire team. Like that. Oof, that is no bueno. Ice is at exactly 0. Okay. We're working on killing the Concertist. Now, I do have a concern here. There is a chance that Ice Cube will not get the opportunity to move. A chance. I think he's going to get one turn, and that's it. He does have a rather hefty health pool at 170, but applying these weaknesses is really going to suck. Thankfully, Fjord is going to eat the Amazon for 2 or 3 turns. Thankfully, I need to kill the Concertist, however. You said the Amazon's going to die in 2 turns. Fjord here is going to remove the dodge. I put Niflheim up front to give him the bonus movement. And I think he's going to die next turn, like at the start of next turn. In fact, I think this is a death. I think. This looks like a death, Tim. There goes Ice Cube. And there goes Fjord. Oh dear.
Told me you were going to die.
And he's going to apply this to the... Oh. Cyril does have quite a bit of natural resistance, but like I said, I think these two being teamed up is going to cause the death of him. Oh. So we'll do this to remove the dodge, and then I'll Frozen Rose her. I think this is GG. Yeah. I get 1 turn, and then I die. Alright, gonna try again. I tried something a little bit different this time. Instead of dealing damage to the bard that was gonna be basically healed anyway, I went ahead and used the Enchanted Seeds for the first time. We didn't get quite as lucky on the shuffle this time. Oh dear. Kel'Thuzad being in the back means that he is going to transform into a random menu when he dies, but I'm pretty sure the Enchanted Seeds overwrote that. Why is... Oh, right. When Enchanted Seeds transforms a rare unit, it turns into Jubako instead of a Trent. Fascinating. I forgot about that. He also got enhanced speed, enhanced armor, and enhanced resistance. Fascinating. We're going to YOLO this 20%, right? Oops. Well, that's probably good enough. We're going to YOLO this 20%, right? Nope. It would be really annoying, like supremely annoying, if my victory condition here is to YOLO the 20% on Skeletor. Thankfully, our army of Treants here is actually quite resilient to everything but that boy, the Concertus. I'm just going to keep ripping this. I forgot about the Jubako part. That might actually be what wins us this. Wouldn't that be fascinating? I've shit on Enchanted... Well, not shit on it, but I've not used Enchanted Seeds, like, ever. And yet here it is, putting in so much work. I got a cleave out, which is unfortunate. Jubako will get a second turn. One last turn. Nope, just kidding. Oof. So I have to kill the Concertist here, or else he's going to get a dodge, and it's going to be a big problem for me. Which I can do. Can be done. Perfect. I think that's enough, because it was the Concertus' physical damage that was really causing problems here. Pretty sure, anyway. Unfortunately, both of these characters are ridiculously resilient against poison. I brought out Virulence instead of Fjord, and in hindsight, Fjord would have been better just because he has a higher health pool, more nature resist, and can apply tiredness. But I thought I'd try something different. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. Alright. As long as we kill the Amazon, I think we're okay. Where did the poison go? Oh, it's only one stack of poison. Shit, okay. So I think Virulence dies here. Hit Niflheim. Ooh. Okay. I think we're still okay. It's just Seryl's going to take a lot of damage. Like, I'm pretty sure Seryl can one-tap this character. So then it's just her and the Enchanter going at it. Yeah, if I had had Fjord there, as planned, it would have been fine. Or would it have been? This should be okay. I think she's going to die to the 8 Frostbite. I'm sorry, what? She died to the Thorns, but that's really not good for me. Because I think I'm not going to kill this. Really? The Jubako lived this time because of the bonuses he YOLO'd. Oh, that's kind of mildly infuriating. Well, we'll Crow Swarm this time. It still kills the Concertus, and it dramatically drops their moralization, so they should take even more damage from our scheme. Pretty much the exact same thing happened this time. Like the exact same shuffle from the Enchanter, and everything played out the same, except the YOLO enhances kept me alive. Which, like I said, mildly infuriating. However, this time, I didn't make the same mistake. Fjord is here in the middle to tank like a boss. And there's no Concertus here. So, I'm pretty sure this is just a signed, sealed, and done deal. Which, my mind is boggled. I'm really happy with our talents because we deal increased damage to Frostbite targets, which is very helpful for this particular combo. But I also kind of feel like there are talents that play into the Enchanted Seed thing a little bit more, and I almost feel like those would be useful. Like, I wanted to just completely ignore it if I could. I wanted to sell it. It's not as bad as the Celestial map, but I kind of wanted to just sell it. But after that performance with Kel'Thuzad turning into Drubako, I kind of think maybe we should give it a try. Especially if I can find another rare and, like, double Drubako something. Wow, you lived at 1. Thankfully, Fjord can do 1 damage. Not much more than 1 damage, but still 1 damage. Alright. Wow. 3 tries is what it took. 3 tries. They do say 3rd time is the charm. And I'm saying that, but our victory is not secured just yet. Do I want to play nature damage? Or tiredness? I think no matter what happens, he's going to kill Niflheim, so I want to set things up for Cyril to clean it up. 6 stacks of Frostbite's a good start. There is an artifact that I'm really interested in getting. That would... It's the Mammon's Bridget's Bones. That would empower all of our skeleton things if we have a full army of skeletons. We could even use that and then transform them if we wanted to. I don't think that's smart, though. Come on. Alright, goodbye. Wow, Fjord lived it too. How does it feel, random enchanter NPC? Because that's what happened to me earlier with the Amazon. Alrighty.
Oh, did you lose your friends?
Did you lose your friends? Blight actually did a lot there because it's per debuff that he has. And I think he dies. Yep. Brick beneath the endless tide. We had the thorns because she gets thorns whenever a Trent dies. Magical purse. Training price of monsters and upgrading price of traps reduced by 30%. Could be good. This is pretty early on. The prank buy. The first attack suffered by each hero applies easy target 5, which increases damage taken by traps by 100%. We don't do a whole lot of trap damage right now. Or the two-bird stone. Attacks targeting only the hero at the front deal 30% of final damage to the hero position behind it. Yes, please. Yes, indeedy. Now, I would love to go to the trainer here. We have 213 gold. I don't think that's enough to upgrade important characters. I don't think so. I wish I could check at the Archivist how much they cost. I know it's nowhere near enough for Kel'Thuzad. It's like half of the amount I need to upgrade Kel'Thuzad. But yeah, there's no cost here. All right. So let's hit the doctor. I might have been able to do it, just for the record. It could have been like 200, but for Niflheim at least. But we're just gonna play it safe. The Occupational Health Office has been called in to do some tests following your recent assignments. Yield 75. We're going to go hit the therapist up as well. We can use our money for the... Wow. Alright, let's just take the freebie. Your employees get a therapy session paid for by the company. Killing humans is a difficult line of work, and you have to leave your conscience at home, particularly during torture sessions. The session will let your employees talk about their feelings and let out some steam. I don't think I want to hit the business trip, although we could get a good artifact. You know what, let's yellow it. Alright, off you go, Skeletor. Our motivation's okay, so let's hit the yellow. The walk-in fridge is full of bodies. The doctor could resurrect a fresh human and transform it into an employee in exchange for a little blood. We got the Executioner. I actually don't remember what I named these guys. But there is a thought here. The Executioner deals frostbite to the back, which is not helpful for Ice Cube, but he does apply ice weakness. I do like the Skeleton Executioner traditionally. What did I name him, though? I don't remember at all. Huh. I mean, Tristan's okay. It's not the worst name in the world. Also, I really liked the idea of transforming this room. There is no way in hell we're transforming the second room, but the first room. The first room is transformable. So this is fine, I think. I feel like our skeleton archers aren't doing a whole lot. But let us go, I guess. Sure. Our first champion. Ruh-roh, SpaghettiOs. You ever get that feeling that sometimes the game's like, okay, we know what tools we gave to you baseline. We're going to accept that. And we're going to throw at you the hardest compositions you could possibly imagine. I don't know if this is the hardest I could think of. There are more annoying things I could think of. But this is pretty bad for us. Although, I do like YOLO debuffs. Although she gets stronger for each debuff. We are fighting the Druidess, of all things. So we have a pretty nature-resilient team, which is what I was complaining about. Led, of course, by the Herbalist, as she always is, for whatever freaking reason. Whoa, that's a lot of damage. Okay, that's a lot. She deals a lot of nature damage to the entire team, and gets stronger for every debuff put on her. She will then cleanse said debuff. Ooh, alright. The Harpooner, dealing ice damage to the slowest target, is a big pain in the butt. The Herbalist healed herself, which is very annoying. And my trap and spell layout were both pretty questionable. So that's worth noting. I hope the Harpooner isn't the last thing alive, but it very possibly could be. Also, we have a Sacred Altar here. So applying Elemental Weakness to them to empower our combo is not going to be on the table of potentials, because they just remove it at the altar. So we had to just rip the damage on the Harpooner. It is worth noting that if things go as planned, the Harpooner will be the last one alive. Holy shit, the damage. I don't think Cero can take that. Why is your nature damage so, or nature resistance so high? Uh-oh. I did that for the tiredness, but I'm pretty sure she's dead anyway. However, I don't think we're getting a second turn. Nope. I don't know how to change this team.
And to the earth you will return.
I'm thinking. Can Cero tank this? Maybe a full health Cero can. So I might be able to cleave down the Harpooner. Maybe? No. I'm trying something a little different here, but I don't think it's going to go well. I have on Hoplet here to eat in the position of Fjord. So he'll be eating these nature attacks, which he has a decent resistance to, I guess. At 30, he's only going to live one turn. But these characters are pretty weak to physical, so I thought maybe he could just do a bunch of damage, you know? So it looks like we're not going to be able to kill her. Fuck. So I'm going in this time with a little bit of a different approach. Slightly. If we're going to die anyway, which we are, what if I have the Trents out? Because they'll at least apply... Wow, okay. They'll at least apply freaking thorns to Cero, which might be enough to push this over. Assuming I can kill the Herbalist again, which might be questionable. So at our little thingy here, I do typically Flamboyant Flame the Harpooner. That was kind of my strat, but let's try the Enchanted Seeds, because I'm not going to live 2 turns anyway. The Druidess is just going to kill me. So remove your things. Yeah. Go on. The only part that I'm really concerned about is... our strategy here is to attack the Herbalist, right? With this team comp, with this setup. But... okay, we're fine. But we're going to be switching rather violently to the Harpooner whenever we go into Trent form. So we can apply poison, or we can just keep mowing down the Harpooner. Actually, you know what? This might work out. Because we have dots on the Herbalist. Yeah. There we go. We do have 2 Enraged for our YOLO effects. Which is pretty nifty. Very neat. Quite a bit of resistance. Cool. I think we can triple the Harpooner and then just kill this solo her with Serral, maybe? Wow. Is this actually going to work? Hey, hit this and kill me. Overkill me. Overkill me. 44 overkill. Wow. This is actually going to work. Alright. Well. Okay. I guess I slept on the power of this. So now comes the question, right?
Did you lose your friend?
This is as good as it's been, and probably as good as it's going to get. I have 8 stacks of Thorn. Alright, we win. Hit me. 70 damage. Now, of course, she does get stronger. Let's see. Damage dealt reduced by 20% for each penalty. So what if I just don't give her a penalty? If the damage is about the same, she doesn't take the frostbite damage, which sucks, but... she's taking less damage if I give her frostbite, so... alright. Wow. Interesting. And there's the boy. The Gruesome Surprise. Front, minus 55 morale, applies Terrifying 3. The Bewitched Glove, damage dealt by monsters to heroes with their max life increased by 100%. This is, nah. We're going to take the Skeleton Drake. This is the brand new unit that we've unlocked. Belgoth. And I actually have a name for him. Believe it or not. Our team is a little wounded. Good old Douglas. So, this is the Skeleton Drake. We've never seen him before because we just unlocked him and he's pretty awesome. Deals area, 24 air damage, minus 16 morale, and applies slowed. To the front, he can deal 40 air damage and 40 fire damage, so he's like a different variant of the Blazing Snowflake. Minus 10% of target's max morale is lost if the target's life is plus 50%. Regenerates 65% of the Skeleton Drake's maximum life when a monster is defeated. The Skeleton Drake's name is none other than Sindragosa, the great frost worm risen by the Lich King himself in what is probably the coolest cinematic Blizzard has ever done. If you haven't seen it, it's great. So I'm thinking there are 2 ways we could really use Sindragosa. We could use her as a roadblock, which is quite insulting to the Great Worm. Or we can stack her with Kel'Thuzad, and we transform them, and now we have 2 Jubakos in the first room, which seems pretty good to me. Pretty good indeed. At the trainer, which is where we're going. So here's the question. I think someone has told me this before, but with the Enchanted Seeds, does the Trent or Jubako's level equate to the level of the unit that was transformed, or is it just level 1? All the time. As always, our backup plan's being leveled up. And we'll save our money from there. Because if the Jubako's level is the same as Kel'Thuzad's or Sindragosa's, oh my, that could be good. A strange gentleman in the guise of a toy manufacturer knocks on your door and offers to sell you a range of amusing items. He requests nothing in exchange other than the materials required to make them. A strange, troubling force. Physically prevents you from declining. Oh my. So we can give 15 blood to get the Transmutation Circle. Monsters placed at the front deal 2% additional damage per missing life percent. This is so good for our strat, but it is worth noting. Monsters at the front. Worth noting. Life, we can get the Horn of Plenty, which gives a 20% chance to crit, which could also be very good. Or we can sacrifice Pestilence to get the Imbued Catalyst. Elemental attacks apply 1 additional effect stack. No. So it's between the... Do we want the 20% chance to crit through all of our monsters, or do we want the percentage-based damage from the Transmutation Circle? Which would probably be very helpful to try and kill things with Niflheim's attack. I usually don't take the Horn of Plenty. I usually don't. Should we try it? Crit rate is very powerful. This is something I'm learning in Lost Ark, so let's give it a shot. We'll give it the good old college try. Let's hit the ritual up to empower our spells. Elemental Flaw has been putting in a lot of work, but there is a good argument for Blazing Snowflakes. Incandescent Fireflies could be good. So we'll learn that. We could even upgrade it. You know what, let's do that. Incandescent Firefly is one of those things, like, if it lines up, it's going to be cool. If it doesn't, I'm a little concerned about going to these veterans, especially if the room layout doesn't help us again. But I think we just got to do what we got to do, team. There's a world in which we put Tristan in the second room to sit in the back and apply ice weakness for our friends. The problem with that is our resistances are not very diverse in that layout. We can put, like, Unhop Light up front. The only thing we're missing is, like, heavy armor. Alright, screw it. We'll try this. The potential is there, and that's what I like to see. I can't decide if this is going to go really well or really bad. Like, I could see it going either way. Honestly. The layout, once again, why double trap before both monster rooms? What the fiddly fuck? Anyway, we are going to go with the Enchanted Seeds because I want to try the double Jubako, and this enemy team is actually quite weak to nature, which is why I think this could be gloriously good. Let's see. Blazing Snowflakes, the Sage is in the front, so that is not useful. Bounty, probably not needed, so let's just whack the guy in the back, that's fine. We're going to be killing him fast anyway once we get transformed. So our opponents for today, the Sage in the front dealing ice damage to the front target. This is the little monkey boy, who, you know, is usually not a big deal to deal with, of course. Especially when you have Kel'Thuzad there to tank it with his 40% ice resist. Very nice. Not so nice, however. Do I YOLO debuffs or do I do damage to that guy? Not so nice is the fact that the Templar here is going to be smacking the front target with a bunch of air damage and applying vulnerability. No bueno. And in the back is the Mamlak, who will be shooting the back with air damage. We are actually incredibly vulnerable to air effects. So, you know, that's our concern. We're going to try and kill him first. Which he is actually incredibly susceptible to nature, minus 55 right now, so I think that's possible. The air damage from the Jubako is never going off, because they're all quite resilient against it. So, you know. Come on, Sindragosa. Double Jubako. This is a thing of beauty. I mentioned this before, but Jubako is actually my favorite rare unit that we have so far. Nice, 70% ice resist. Get owned. So we're pretty much just ripping this, killing this guy primarily. Can he not be affected by Demoralize? No, we're good. 8 stacks of Demoralize. Remember when I said this is either going to be really good or really bad? I think we found our answer. Alright. I'm never going to hear the end of this. But I think Enchanted Seeds could be good. I think Enchanted Seeds could actually, legitimately, be good. Okay? I said it. As I said earlier, you can actually lean all the way in. Did we crit there? You can lean all the way into it in the talent tree, which we have not done. But it might be worth investigating. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. Did you really live, Jubako? Oh my goodness, you lived at 1. Lived at 1 and lived at 3. Legends. Absolute legends. Unfortunately, we're not going to get in the turn here, so. Because the Sage punches the Jubako, the Templar cuts down the Trent. And now they're going to heal for 15%, but then they're going to find an ice cube in their face, and that's going to end that. Unfortunately, the Sage here does actually have a tremendous amount of ice resist, but that's not going to stop me. Not sure why you thought it would. I just have to get rid of the Templar, like, as fast as possible. Okay. As fast as humanly possible. I wish that Cleavy thing from the Two-Bird Stone also applied its debuff. That would be very strong. Which is why I want it. Oh, dear. Deary me. I had a feeling this would be rough, but... you know. That's one thing. It actually being rough is another. Although I think Ice Cube is going to get a double kill here. Double kill! Look at that. Screw your ice resist. This was, of course, to obtain a trap, which I didn't really care about, but I do like the 385 gold. The Oil Cauldron deals area fire damage and applies fire weakness. We have 1 fire spell, courtesy of Sindragosa. The Monstrous Altar attacks the back with minus 50 morale and applies Demoralize, or the Poisonous Plant, which is AoE nature damage and applies nature weakness. Sure. Actually would be quite useful. So we can go to the Merchant, or we can work out. At the Merchant, what would we do? Fish a little bit? Let's work out. See if I can get some more... Nope. Get power. I was going to say, see if I can get some more life regen, but... eh. Once again... Let's yellow. A shifty-looking supplier is offering you some human thighs to feed your employers at a discounted price. They do not look or smell particularly fresh, but you know the management would give you a sweet salary bonus for reducing overheads. Yep. Remember, we need to save 200 gold for the next event. In fact, I could even get it over with right now. Yeah. Oh no, they got sick. They could be unavailable for 5 weeks, or I can heal them for 200 gold, which is still a 700 gold profit. That right there is making money. Is it ethical? No. But it's great. We're going to take the free therapist here, just to bring everyone back up to where we were. And because I've been recording for an hour, we're going to do our final fight and call it a day. Let's see what our 5th and final artifact is. Of course, we can replace them if we get a 6th one, but... you know, the 5th one fills up the slots. Makes me happy. Skeletor's back. Alright, well, that's well. Well, the good news here is that the dungeon layout works in our favor, which I feel like is something I don't get to say very often. The bad news is we're fighting a Virtuoso, which, you know, can kind of go 50-50 here. I'm not sure exactly how this is going to pan out. But I have a dream, and hopefully we'll make it work. We are fighting the Amazon once again. We've seen her more this run than any other, basically. I told you, they would pick an enemy that they think would be a problem for you to deal with. And apparently it is. Call that air resist. The Valkyrie joins us for the first time today. She's going to deal air damage to everybody on the team, which is kind of one of our weak points. So I'm a little concerned. The Jubakos here actually have decent resistance. But, oof. Oof. Hopefully get quite a few AoEs off, that would be nice. And, like I said, I mentioned the Virtuoso already dealing AoE air damage. I have fought so many AoE groups today, haven't I? I always find those kind of tricky to deal with. So this Poison Leaves doesn't do anything to the Amazon, but it does affect both of these characters pretty heavily. So I think we're going to do that. See how much poison I can get played out. Go, Sindragosa! Do a fire attack, even though you are most definitely a frost worm. It's fine. Consistency. We should get one more turn with everyone, I think? My voice is getting high because I am uncertain. I think so. Oh no, the Trent's dead. The poor Trent. Why is it always the Trent, huh? He's gonna die to the true damage of the bleeds. Very unfortunate. There's also a well, which is incredibly unfortunate. That will, of course, heal them. We're gonna get a cleave here too, fuck. This Chewbacca is dead. Will this one survive? Is the question. Es la pregunta. Yep. 6 hit points. 6 hit points. And a dream. I'm gonna do the Sinister Roots because I actually think the Virtuoso will die to the Ice Trap. Maybe. Mayhaps. Damage and morale taken from Trasma is 50%. Ooh. Lives at 19, of course. Then heals up. So without that trap, without that passive, he actually would have died. Very annoying. Very annoying indeed. Now, I did move Ice Cube up because I noticed that Niflheim already moves at 120 speed, which is pretty good. That's a pretty good amount of speed. If Ice Cube in the front to gain the benefits of speed and not get hit by this giant Amazon shaft that's coming my way. Fjord is actually, as we've seen, quite resilient against the Amazon's front attack. However, he is incredibly not resilient against the Valkyrie's AoE attack. So that is the weak link here, in case you were curious. Removing the dodge is going to be important, I just don't know how important. You know what, we're actually going to Hypothermia. Maybe I shouldn't have. We're actually going to get a morality thing here. Look at that. The glorious return of morale damage. Who would have guessed? They're all so low. Wait, you're immune to ice? Cannot be affected by penalties reducing armor or resistances. Oh. I didn't read that. The trees told me you were going to die. Alright, well, GG. That right there is called the domino effect. We also have 2 thorns, which is a far cry from 8, but... How much morale do you have? 3. Alright, 3. I'll accept 3. Farewell. Wow. We actually got tears. Oh dear. How do I want to do this? There are so many potentials here. The Troll Bear. Monsters placed at the front lose 50 speed, but the maximum life is increased by 50%. This is very strong and is completely counteracted. Well, the negative effect of this is completely counteracted by the boots that we have. Pretty good. Pretty good indeed. The Knight's Ashes fire attacks also deal 30% of base damage as morale. As previously mentioned, we don't do fire, so this is off the table. Or, my favorite all-in item of all time, the Miraculous Pill. Monsters placed at the back perform an additional attack, but lose 20 speed and begin fights with minus 50% of their maximum life. This could be hilarious. It always is. There are a few ways we could do this. We could use Niflheim to apply multiple stacks of Frostbite, or we'll double the stacks of Frostbite, to then be consumed by Ice Cube elsewhere in the line, because of course Niflheim is very fast already, right? We could have Ice Cube in the back, which was a lot more risky because he'll be at like, what, 20 speed? But if he gets to pull it off, that's double Ice Cube in your face. Although the first cube would consume the Frostbite and the second would just do damage, right? So maybe that's not that good. But what I'm thinking, unique to this banner, is if we have a Chewbacca with the back, would the Miraculous Pill just apply to the untransformed unit? So if we put this in the first room, for example, we have Sindragosa in the back. Would Sindragosa attack twice with probably her fire air attack, and then when she's transformed into a Jubako next turn later because of the Enchanted Seeds, would the Jubako get to go twice, but without having the reduced health penalty? That is the science we're going to conduct next time. And I'm actually quite eager to seeing it out. This has been fun. I mean, frustrating, but fun, because I actually get a chance to use Enchanted Seeds at its maximum power. Well, without the talents, of course. The talents are mostly just like thorns and stuff and increased health when they transform. Doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it could, of course, make a difference. But anyway, that is it for today. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed as I struggled and learned a thing or two about a thing or two. Thank you to the patrons and channel members who support the channel. I greatly appreciate you. And if anyone would like to stay up to date with anything happening on the channel, feel free to join the Discord description down below, and I will see you next time to wrap up the Enchantress's 5th and final banner. Bye-bye!
Remember, our line has always ruled with wisdom and strength. And I know you will show restraint when exercising your great power.